Hi everyone, welcome back to James and Flav for now. Sorry, I'm just scrolling up the running order, and I just read bottom chat. Spoiler, we've got some bottom chat this week. Exciting times, and we're live again on the YouTubes. Flav, how are you?
Busy, mate.
Yeah,
just stuff to do.
Researching, doing taxes.
Yep.
Yep, we are live. We are live now.
I know. I'm doing admin, mate. I'm tweeting. What do you want from me? Do you want me to do this and tweet at the same time?
Busy marketing.
You tell me what to do.
Talk to
Tell
me.
me.
Talk to me. Look at me. Talk to me. That's what
I have. So I'm panicking because I need to look at you. Like last week, we talked about me not looking at you during the podcast, and now I want to look at you while we're doing it. But I'm trying to tweet and get people to watch. And do you know what? What do we start with? Do we start with Spurs being back? Maybe.
Well, I don't know. I am. Explain this to me. Riddle me
Go
this. And riddle me this chat as well. Get involved. We'll be having a look. We'll be reading your comments along the way. Probably the highlight, actually, of last week's podcast was Flav, obviously watching a grown man be sick, a 3-second clip on a loop. And someone was still in the chat going, but Conte has got to... Conte will definitely stay if he gets the money that he needs. Someone saying that. Someone asking a question like that. I was like, really?
I know.
That ship had sailed. That ship had sailed.
But I have. Yeah, do you know how many people DM me going, "Yeah, all right, can we see the video, please?" No, I'm not. You don't want to see it. It's a man essentially pooing out of his mouth. And the other thing is I don't think we have permission to share it. So no one's going to ever see that video unless the bloke who was sick, who covers his eyes while he's being sick because he didn't want to be identified. Unless he gives us permission to share it, we can't.
Exactly. Ryan Couch says this is where moist and dry collide. That is correct. If you would like to become a moist slug, then the link is in the description.
That doesn't make any sense, James. If they don't know what it is.
Yeah, but the people that are dry slugs and they know, and they can thus become moist slugs. For those of you who don't know what that means, basically, our people for some reason, and I had to explain it to someone this morning, are called slugs. And if you want to be one of those, and join us on Patreon where we do an extra pod each week and reveal deep and meaningful stuff as well as absolute nonsense, then that's the Patreon for you. So get involved.
James, I've just noticed on the holding screen of your of this show, it says follow me on Twitter, James Allcott. Follow me on Instagram, JL Allcott. And follow me on Twitch, James Allcott. It's too many me's for a start, and not enough me. I mean, I've got social media,
right? Yeah. No, I've always thought you were doing that. Like, I'm too good to be. I don't like social media. I don't even want it. I don't even want social media.
Yeah, but it makes money, James. It makes money, and the more people follow me, the more money I can make. So is that the right?
I can chuck you in.
If I'm being honest. No, it's fine. Forget it. I just want to be thought about. I don't want to be a second. I don't want to remind you that I exist.
Right. I chat to you for 3 hours a week.
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm bringing you on board. I don't really feel like I'm leaving you behind.
I just think when you're making these silly little holding screens, that point, Flav should be pop Flav in there.
I did it years ago when I was, hankering for the limelight. Okay. Now, it's too much of it, really. Riddle me this. Yeah. What? How are Spurs 6th and Arsenal 5th? But in particular, Spurs. How are Spurs 6th in this division? What is going on?
It came to light. I don't know. It's more than that, right, James? Because it came to light after us, swatting aside shitty little tin pot Brentford. That if we'd have played Burnley at the weekend and beaten them, and the amount of injuries they had, we would have been a good chance of winning. We would have been 4th, and that's not 4th like we're 4th, but we've played 2 games more than our nearest rivals. And if they win those games, they'll take 4th, legitimately the 4th best team in the league so far this season. If we'd have played and beaten Burnley, that's the riddle. Like, how is that the case? How can, of all of the amazing storylines going around certain football clubs, Arsenal included, how can Spurs, if we had won and got the opportunity and played and beaten Burnley, be the fourth best side in the league this year?
It makes me want to pack up, just give up, because what
nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense. I don't get it. I don't like. Have you not? Is it like you've not played anyone or something? Is that it? You've got a game in hand as well.
Well, yeah, we're that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're fourth. Well, we've played everyone in the same way. You know, we're nearly halfway through the season.
I'm sorry, I forgot you didn't play Burnley. That is just. It's just. Can someone explain it? Anyone?
We've played United. We lost, and this is the thing. We've played and lost against United. Played and lost against Chelsea. Played and lost against. Did we lose against West Ham, or was it? Did we draw?
Do you know what? Maybe it's I always think this, like the sort of the media glare of the exposure that you get is always generally in big games, like for any team, right? So even, you know, when we see Norwich play or Newcastle play, I know they're all on telly, but in terms of real spotlight, often it's when they play one of those big six or the greedy six, as we like to call them. And because of that, you then think they're rubbish at football. But maybe Spurs are good. No,
we're not good. No, we're not good. We're not good. We're getting better. Like Conte slowly, you can see things are happening.
What's happening then? I don't know. Gentle Ben Davies he's a favourite, isn't he?
Is he? Is he good now? This is it. This is it. And I don't know how much of this is. I guess a lot of this is about Conte's system, and Ben Davies. That's perfect for him. That left-sided centre back role, and it's just works for him, and therefore he's comfortable in that. I don't know. Skip, especially yesterday, was fantastic.
Sorry, in the chat, Swellhead Spur. Could this be a new name for they call it the Big Six, which people struggle with the Big Six because they're rarely in the top six, although they are generally, apart from Man United, in the top six at the moment. But Swellhead Spur. So should we call them? Where is it? Oh, it's disappeared. Piggish Gluttonous Six. Should we call them? Should we call them the Piggish Gluttonous Six? I think it's quite good. That.
Definitely. That's good.
So
someone made a good point here. Owen Quinn. He says top three are really good and everyone else stinks. Easy explanation. That's not bad. That's pretty good. That's fair to say. I think there are three clubs that are so much better than everyone else.
Yeah,
and yeah, go on.
Do you know?
You look at the
Can we turn into a class system? Because I feel like Norwich have sort of just stumbled upon this upper class party, but the other teams are sort of upper middle class, and then yourself, Spurs are millionaires, and then there's 4 billionaires in Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Man United. They're billionaires. Do you know what I mean? So
why are Man United at this party? Why aren't like Man United? They had everything.
You're right.
They had everything, but they started doing skag. Yeah. That's like Man United still a millionaire, but also a skaghead.
Currently, yeah. And the fans of that skaghead are hoping that they'll get clean soon and win trophies.
Rag. They've got Rag to come in now to clean up, like get the skag out of the body, basically. But fundamentally, doesn't matter how rich you are, if you are a skaghead, that's what defines you, and that's what Man United are currently. A heroin infested.
The general point I'd lost there a second before we went down the skaghead road, which just happens more often than I'd like, is that everyone's wealthy here, in terms of quality, but that top three they are billionaires, aren't they? They are billionaires,
and they're clean living,
clean as a whistle. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, they're sort of on different kind of doping, isn't it? It's sort of steroids.
Yes. No, it's organic food.
Yeah.
When everyone else is on skag, they're eating like lettuce and shit.
Yeah, they're shopping. Yeah, they're like, where are they shopping? They're shopping at that Whole Foods place where no one should be shopping at any point. Like, I would never walk into a Whole Foods. Does anyone do that?
Yeah, the people do it, and they're wankers.
Yeah.
They do it. They go in there. Oh, got to get my vitamins and my organic tofu and that butternut. And they don't use margarine. They use a peanut spread or something.
Yeah,
I get it. You want to live forever, but you're also going to be dead, just like me. So I'll be happy with my whiskey and cigarettes and whores. Just in case my missus is watching, I don't visit prostitutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you look at the Premier League this season, Jim.
Yeah.
The top three have a goal difference combined. Well, I won't do that rubbish at maths, but a lot.
72, I think it is. No, it's more than that. Of plus
27.
72.
Right, and then everyone else's goal difference is completely fucked, apart from West Ham, who are on 8. So that just shows you that. I mean, I think that doesn't show you conclusively, but it's further evidence of the fact that the gap in quality between the top 3 and the rest is seismic.
Yeah, it's amazing. It is outrageous.
Out of the top 3, Jim, I'll ask you a question.
Go on.
Who's the weakest?
Oh, good question. That's a title. Should have called it that. Who's the weakest of the top 3?
Well, we can go ahead with that. It's too late, isn't it? It's live.
It's tricky. This is tricky. Yeah, we will be. Flav will be revealing. We're just trying to find a good title. One player from every club that Flav hates. We'll be diving into that in a second. Who is the weakest? Great question. Let us know in the chat. I'm gonna go with. Can I tell? I'll tell you who I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But then I say it and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I want to say Liverpool, but it doesn't make sense. Do you know?
All right.
Because they're weaker because if they lose, let's say over the Christmas period, like Chelsea have made 50 changes already to their starting lineup and won all these games. Like their squad depth is pretty mental, and they've actually had a few injuries.
Yeah.
I just keep looking at Liverpool, and they're just always so. The squad, it's not outrageously thin. Of course, it's not, but
no,
it's so much thinner than the other two that surely they can't.
It has to
all
be them
just
that
stay
falls
fit.
away.
Well,
you've seen what happens to Liverpool and would happen to any team. So don't get me, Liverpool fans. It would happen to any team when they get significant injuries. But like you say, Man City and Chelsea are going to be significantly. They're significantly more able to cope with injuries than Liverpool because of the depth, and that just shows how much money they've spent on their squad, I guess.
Who's playing the best out of those 3? Let me throw that at you.
Liverpool probably playing the best is subjective, isn't it? But I'd say Liverpool have been the most. I've been the most impressed by Liverpool and the way they're playing. Who's going to win the league is out of those 3 is another one, because African Nations is. Someone mentioned it in the chat. I didn't just pull that out of there. African Nations is in. When is it? January. It's quite a long pro. So,
I said it at the start of the season that this could derail them, and someone's just said it in the chat as well. I've got to be honest. I go back on that now. I think it's only a few games. I don't think, and the games they're playing. It's like Palace, Brentford, and someone else who's not, that great.
Is that all it is? Is it 3 games or?
They've only got upper middle class opponents, no millionaires, and I don't think it's certainly no billionaires.
Drug issues in those opponents? Any speed?
Nothing like that. Certainly not a Brentford, a very timid club. But
Brentford do remind. I was watching it. They do remind you of like a 14-year-old kid. That's what like Brentford reminds me of.
What do you mean?
Just this thing that I could beat up if I needed to, but I'm not going to because
my theory on Brentford fans is that they're slimmer than most fans. I don't know what it is, but when I went to a Brentford game, I was like, why is everyone slim? Everyone's slim and had dark hair. Really confused me.
We were talking in our WhatsApp group, weren't we? And we were basically saying what club is the least shit in terms of becoming a sort of corporate commercial entity, where your club, the worst thing your club can become is something for someone to do. Do you know what I mean by that? They're like
Fulham,
Brentford, Fulham, but even and it was levied at Spurs, and I imagine not necessarily every week, but there are fans out there who probably aren't fans of football, but I think I'd like to go to see this new Spurs stadium. and that's not great. I don't think it's great commercially for the club, but it's not great for as a fan base. It's not the best. You don't want tourists. You want people there just for a day out. You want everybody in that stadium should be pulling in the same direction. I know it's a bit fanciful.
Do you think that's why Brentford have created such a very impressive but small stadium in terms of capacity to try and keep the tourists out and retain some sort of authenticity?
No, it just that's what Brentford did. Do you think?
I'm putting the question out there. I'm saying.
I'm saying that no, they're not big enough to have a bigger stadium, are they?
No.
Otherwise, it would look mental. It's like when Darlington was building. Do you remember that back in the day? Was it Darlington or Rotherham? Darlington, wasn't it?
Yeah, Darlington. They tried to sign Faustino Asprilla.
That's right. And they built this stadium that they could never settle. Did it even get used?
Sorry, I must have missed this quote. Did you say that you could beat up that 14-year-old?
Yeah, I did. That's why I was laughing to myself. I was like, what has come out of my mouth? I said I could.
How many 14-year-olds do you think you could beat up?
I've seen some, I watch a lot of boxing, and there are some 14-year-olds that are tasty as fuck. Tasty is an expression from London meaning hard and not fuck. Meaning tasty means you can handle yourself in a fight.
Yeah.
Not. There's no sexual element to it.
Have you seen that clip of Manny Pacquiao's daughter? Is that true? Is that actually Manny Pacquiao's daughter?
I think it's
just it's not true.
I think no. I mean, I think it's sort of thinly veiled racism.
Yeah, that's what I'm wary of. And I think I'm going to stop going down that road. Actually, yeah. That can't be, can it? I mean, great boxing though. I mean, just for the talent alone, the boxing talent alone here is impressive. I did. See
I think I could have 95% of 14-year-olds on this planet. I'd imagine.
No, but I'm saying a sort of meek 14-year-old. How many of them do you think you could take down in one serving?
I'm not the. My problem is I'm 40. I'm not fit. You know what I mean? I'm not as fit as I used to be.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm going to get tired, and fighting is exhausting. So, I reckon 4.
Okay.
And what are we saying? Look, are we saying how many 14-year-olds we could kill?
Do you know
or how many 14-year-olds you just win in a fight?
Just win in the fight. Yeah. So I think a lot of them would just be like, fight. Like, you just hit them once and they go, oh, I'm going to my room. So I think that would be quite easy. Quite a lot of them.
Yeah, at least 4 normal 14-year-olds I could batter.
Do you know what I've noticed that a lot of teenagers look like they've had a bath and then someone's gone look and they put bubble bath on the top of their head. And it's got a little permy thing going. Anyway, I'm showing my age. Aubameyang's trending. Should we have a look at that? What on earth could that be? Why is it trending? I think we know why. He's trending because he decided to, although I can't seem to find it. I did laugh at that. Aubameyang's highlights versus Man United.
What are you laughing at?
Can you not see that? You should be able to see this. Anyway. Basically, the club captain of Arsenal, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, decided to like Cristiano's Instagram picture of him celebrating. It doesn't seem to want to be there. Celebrating his goal against Arsenal, which occurred, of course, yesterday. Now, thoughts on this in the chat? Flav, you're always desperate for Arsenal to be better rivals. Does this, add weight to your point that they're not really offering you the chutzpah you need for the hotspur?
Not this particularly. I think we completely differ on what we think this is.
It's shockingly bad, isn't it?
In my opinion, it's a stupid error where he's accidentally liked it and he hasn't realised it. You don't think he's consciously gone, I know what I'm going to do. I'll wind Arsenal fans up even more.
I think someone needs to get sacked for this. Someone's O's got to go.
Who?
The person who's running his Instagram. What's going on here? And
it's not him.
Well, because I imagine... Because I don't know about you, but with Instagram, I'm not great at the likes. I forget. I go, oh, that's nice, and then I have to sort of really think. Oh, I should like that. That'd be nice to like for them. Show some goodwill. So maybe other people are different, but I don't think I don't think I've ever liked something by mistake. So it's either him doing it or someone he's employed. Either way, it's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't.
They lost last night. There's not even 24 hours since.
But you're under the assumption that someone's done this, and it's just a mistake. It's a mistake. Someone's just double tapped it without thinking, isn't it? What else could it be?
I guess so. I'm just so confused by it. It's pathetically bad.
If it was a Spurs player, I wouldn't care. I genuinely wouldn't. I just put it down to someone like either a social media guy fucking up or it just being a mistake. That's
your job. Great point. I'm surprised. I thought you'd jump on this if it's been Arsenal.
No, not really. It's more the social media stuff. It's just the constant shit stuff that their fans put out, and even like as much as I love, I've got a lot of love for Robbie. Like on a personal level, I've worked with him for a long time and at Bull Street, and I really, really like Robbie. But I don't like the content all the time, and the stuff that you put out yesterday about the trend on TikTok at the moment.
Is this the one where he goes, "'Cause I'm an island boy"?
Did he do that as well?
No, I don't think he did.
I just think for me, call me old-fashioned, call me gammon, but I want to be spat at by my rivals. I want to be things thrown at me. Right? I don't want to see memes or TikTok trends. That's not what I think a rivalry is. That's not what I enjoy in football. And I know times are changing, right? I know it's good.
The thought of you going to watch a game and just people spitting in your face and you going, "Thank you."
Yes. I respect them more. I would respect them more.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, there's no greater feeling, right? When I tell you what, it hasn't happened to you massively in the new stadium or at Wembley when we played there. But when you're in, Spurs played Arsenal in the last game of the season, last game at one of the penultimate games, I think, at White Hart Lane, and I was sitting about 10 chairs from the Arsenal fans. We went 2-1 up, and all of us just got up on our chairs, turned around at the Arsenal fans, put out our arms and was going, "Fucking have that. There's nothing you can do. You have to deal with what we've just done to you." And then they were throwing things and that. And I was like, this is it. This is being alive.
Better.
Yeah. Good. Well done.
What else can you throw?
Come on. But the more time passes, the more, there were Chelsea fans in the away end singing to a TikTok influencer, a bird, Astrid something. They're chanting songs about an influencer who uses Chelsea to get likes or uses a football team to get likes. That's what football's becoming now, I think, or has become. And I don't like it. Just saying.
Difficult times. Difficult times for Matt Robson agrees. He says, "I just want to get glassed by a Forest fan."
Are we asking too much, Matt? Yeah. Matt, are we asking too much? Just want to get glassed at football.
Yeah, football's better then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to go to the football. I want to come back with a scar. That's what I want.
That's what I want.
I want a scar provided by my rival. Knowing that, and at the end of that, when I've been disfigured for life, we can shake hands, go down to either end of the ground and enjoy the game. Interesting. Like the video, guys, if you have just joined us. Not my words, the words of Joe Monday. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Right. Would you like to... I was looking for a title. I've got one. Can we go through 10 players that you hate?
Yeah, I'm not going to do all 20 because everyone's just going to get bored.
Ooh, exciting two-parter. Let's dive into it.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't really thought a great deal about this either.
I think you'll be fine. If there's one thing it's Premier League players. So, let's know yours as well. We'll make our way through from bottom to top. Feels fair.
Oh, I mean, can we start at the top? Because obviously these are players I actually generally know, and I couldn't name you 3 players from Norwich.
He's going to have to go away and find some players that he hates from the bottom of the group.
I've got one, actually. I can start with Norwich if you want.
Okay, let's just get to 10, shall we? Let's see if we get to 10, because I do feel like I'm shortchanging the people somewhat if we don't. But yeah, let's begin with Norwich. You want to go with Norwich? Did you see Delia drift off, by the way, in that game? Bless her. I was worried for a minute. I don't know if you've seen the clip of Delia drifting off, because she's sort of watching, and then she just goes. She's watching quite, and it's a big game. You know, they're up against 10 men. Newcastle, away from home, need the victory, and she's sort of up for it, and then she kind of just goes,
can't we focus on the good stuff she's done for Norwich? Like, she's literally bankrolled them for years, and just because she nods off a little bit and gets pissed occasionally.
Fan was watching it with me, I know, crazy, and she wonders if Delia was praying. She thought Delia might have been praying, and I went, I think she's drifted off. She does look a bit intense, but you know when you drift, you know when you're sort of so tired, your sort of sleep is it's sort of angry. You do angry eyes. I think she was doing that. Angry eyes. So who do you hate from Norwich then?
Todd Cantwell.
Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, he's just a bit like, do you know what? It's because of what he played really well against Spurs. He was very...
He liked keepy ups on the penalty spot, didn't he? Did that.
Aggie, yeah, he did all that and scored a great penalty against us. And he's the only sort of semi-decent player I can think of. Actually, being honest.
Do you think you'd like him more if he cut his hair?
I think I have more respect for him, yeah. Okay. Todd Cantwell, Max Aarons, and Pookie is probably the extent of my knowledge of Norwich.
Okay, and
Cantwell, you hate no one really, Cantwell's the one. No one in the chat, or indeed you, Jim, can name me 8 Norwich players. No chance. There isn't anyone outside of Norwich that knows 8 players who play for them.
I think, yeah. I mean, it'd be.
Go on then, Jim.
If one of the patrons wants to jump into Discord and just literally just shout 8 Norwich players, that I'm happy.
Billy said Billy Gilmore, not their player, their player.
Yeah, it is quite.
Look at all these people in the chat just making names up. Yeah. None of these are real players. They're just making names up.
Brandon Williams, they don't know him either. So. Do you want me to do it?
If you want.
Tim Krul, Grant Hanley, Ben Gibson, Max Aarons.
I said Max Aarons.
What's his name? What's his bloody name? Solis, Brad Shitka, Sargent, Pookie, Adam Adar.
You're just making noises. This means nothing.
Different language, isn't it? Different language. Football podcast.
It's not worth knowing. It's not worth knowing. It's not worth knowing these players.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Burnley. Come on, you can give me a Burnley one.
Burnley. I would say Jay Rodriguez.
Okay. There is a theme starting to take form here. Go on. Next.
It's not here. It's not here with him.
Sure,
like, who does he think he is? Yeah. Who does he think he is? Like, he's going to Burnley and he's like, I'm going to change this club I'm going to change it from the number 9 position. We know what we want from Burnley, and that's thuggish forwards who love an elbow. That's what we want.
He sort of snuck in on. He's kind of snuck in with an exotic name, but a sort of a thuggish physique. He kind of works for Burnley. That's the kind of Rodriguez. If you lined up all the Rodriguez's in a line, Sean Dyer should go, I'll have him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they?
Yeah. But he got his gig at Burnley just by hiding behind Chris Wood. Just every now and poking his head out like that. So I have game boss, and then he goes sits behind Chris Wood.
Yeah. Boss. Do you want me to flick it on? I can flick it on if you
want. I can. I think he thinks he's better.
He's got quality. He has got quality.
I think he thinks he's better. If he thinks he's better than he is, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not a big fan of Ashley Barnes or Chris Wood either. Both of those can fuck off.
Okay, Watford.
Can you give me some bigger teams?
Yeah, sure. Everton. In the papers right now.
It's got to be Sigurdsson, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not
got to be. No, it's not funny. I can't pick fucking. I can't pick.
All right.
Townsend over Nantes, can I?
All right.
Okay. Can
Aston
you give me
Villa.
Chelsea?
Chelsea, yeah. I know where you're going here. Go on, just say it.
Fucking that little prick. What's his name?
Oh, I thought you were going to go for left back.
No. Kante.
Kante. Really?
Don't believe he's a nice guy. He sends all his money back to his family and all that shit. Bollocks. He's got some dark secrets. What do you think Kante's doing on a Friday night? What do you think he's doing?
What do I do? Oh, he's probably asleep. I don't know. What does he? Is it really wholesome stuff?
No one's that nice. No one's that nice. They're hiding some dark secrets.
If you go around Kante's house, he's got like just a massive cupboard of board games. He's like, do you want to play Kaplunk? I've got Kaplunk. I've got Scrabble. I've got Hungry Hippos. They're like me because I like to get around and just.
I think he's got the world's most impressive collection of dildos. Just fucking cupboard full of them hanging. He's got a custom built cupboard, and there are about 400 dildos in there.
Yeah, and he's got a really bad memory. He's got 3 cupboards, right? One's just got like just miscellaneous stuff. One's got board games because he loves a board game, and one's just jam packed with dildos. But he's got a really bad memory as well. So he comes around and goes, "Do you want?" I mean, he loves board games. He goes, "Do you want to play a board game? I can play a board game now." And often opens the wrong one, and he goes, just gives a sort of scared little giggle and closes it. And sorry,
he gets home. And he goes and he gets one dildo out, different one every night, but he gets a dildo out. And he sits on the sofa, he settles down, watches a film or Coronation Street. And he just sits there like this. Bam. Bam. Not even really paying attention to the dildo or what he's doing. He's just whacking it on his hand like that. Whacking it. And every now and then he'll just go, ah!
So...
Ah! For no reason. Ah!
Yeah, it's a bit weird when he's got friends round, but he'll offer. he go. I've got loads if you want one. And Mason Mount's like, I'm fine. I'm just gonna do my TikToks.
He hasn't explained it at all, and then all of a sudden they're watching it. And they go, "What did you?" And he's like, "What?" Nothing. It's all right.
Matt Robson thinks that Kante is the biggest Celine Dion fan of all time.
Yeah, probably.
Probably is.
He's a pest. That's what he is.
For the love of God, can we move on?
Yes.
So that's how many is that? I've got a few. 1, 2, 3. I think we've got 4 so far. So can we just rattle through a few more?
Yeah, Liverpool. We could do Liverpool.
Go on, Liverpool. Who do you hate at Liverpool? Go on, trigger some people.
I'm going to say I hate Minamino. No, I'm not going to say him.
Do you like? What about Salah? Salah's a great footballer, right? But would you want to spend the evening with him? I don't know.
Firmino rubs me up the wrong way as well.
Yeah,
it's like they've all gone to Liverpool and sorted. Like if Firmino hadn't turned up at Liverpool or hadn't signed, was he signed by Klopp? I think he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Klopp wouldn't have fixed his teeth and would look normal. Yeah, but no, yeah, Salah's just too good to like, isn't he? I'm not one of these guys who celebrates good football. Like, if it's not my team, I hate it.
Roger signed him. Okay.
All right. When Salah does something amazing, like I know he's brilliant. I know he's the best player in the world at the moment. I hate it. I hate the fact that he is. I hate the fact that Spurs have to play him, and I hate every good thing that he does.
But
every good goal he scores, I hate it.
Do you know what I mean? But is he
funny? Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Let's find something he's not good at. Do you know what I mean? Okay, yes, he's a great footballer, but would he ask me a question about me and make me feel empowered? I don't think he would.
What else? He's fucking built schools and shit as well.
How is he?
It's like, I fucking have a day off.
Oh, give it a break.
What you going to save people? Are we? Yeah, make sure everyone's got food. Make sure that people in Egypt are being educated properly, and so that their future is a little bit brighter. Fuck off.
Yeah. Go away.
This is the real world, Salah.
Yeah, you should be focusing.
Get with it.
You should be focusing on your football.
Focus on your football. Don't worry about the schools and the wells and all that shit.
Okay. Right, just give me two more quick ones because I'll be honest, I'm getting a bit bored with this. And I've got funny comments.
You wanted to do 20.
I know. Thank God we didn't. Crystal Palace.
I haven't got one for Crystal Palace.
All right, just one more player that you hate, and then we'll move on.
All right, let me go to. I'll go to Arsenal.
Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah, and I would say I hate Leno quite a lot. I'll tell you who's good up for them. That Tomiyasu.
Yeah, he's decent.
Isn't he? Oh, he's so much better than I thought he was. Being really annoying. I think.
Didn't you want
Spurs?
You wanted him, didn't you?
Yeah, but he said he turned us down apparently. But I don't think he's just.
You would say that afterwards, wouldn't you? You would say that.
Of course, you got to say it. I mean, I respect him more if anything. Yeah, Leno. If you're an Arsenal fan, you're going to have do Arsenal fans hate Aubameyang? Do they hate him? I know they're liking the things one thing, but I'd imagine being pissed off if you what's the feeling? Do you think?
I don't know. I don't think he does that much. If I'm honest, I don't really think he does. I'm not really sure what he's doing.
He's missing a lot of sitters at the moment. I know they're not too happy with that.
He's not been good. He's not been good since he signed the damn thing.
That's the thing. He's got something of the Adebayors about him, isn't he? In that respect, he signed a contract and just disappeared. Ollie Sack asked a question: do I still hate Arsenal as much as I did? And that is a good question. My relationship with them's changed. Don't get me wrong. On match day, I hate them. I still hate them, but they're just not very good rivals, really. That's my feeling.
Can they improve? So, can I get a bit more? Can we have a bit more? Let's see. I'll tell you what, let us know in the comments, what could Arsenal do to improve the rivalry with Spurs? Right, let's dive into some of these comments because we've got some cracking power moves and things that make you go, bit of bottom chat. Got a bit of bottom chat as well, which I'm sure everyone's excited about. And we were talking about why is someone a top or a bottom?
In the gating.
In the gating. Jim's Big Laugh Award's back because there were two comments that made me laugh. One was one word, just caught me out. And I'm warning now. I think there's a bit of toilet humour in the rest of this podcast. But that is what we've come to be, sadly. So let's crack on. First one is so George Shark. He said, "Hi guys. First one to say I absolutely love the pod. Keeps me well entertained whilst I'm working from home on a Friday." Well, are you a patron, George?
It's all well and good enjoying it.
Yeah,
but
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear, I love it. And you're not a patron.
I want to hear the sound of coins dropping into my pockets.
Exactly. I've got a situation that I'd like your opinion on. The small office I work in is basically divided into two rooms, with 8 people in one room and a couple in the other. The problem is the toilet is right in the middle of them, and you can hear everything that happens.
Like bullshit.
Yeah, it happens in said toilet. My question to you is, when going for a wee, do you power move it and go loud and proud, dead centre in the bog water, so that everyone can hear? Or do you go quiet and aim for the sides, leaving no noise at all? Secondly, how would you even tackle taking a dump in this situation? I must happily admit, I have never needed to take a dump in that toilet. Lie. Let me know your thoughts. Now, the thing that made me laugh was one word in the first reply from Asad Ashraf, who said, "Chuck a load of toilet paper in first so the plops don't plop so loud." The word plop just got me.
Plop.
Quick in and out. No one will notice.
I think less of people that you like. So we had a similar sort of situation of Bull Street. You had 2 rooms and there was a corridor and there's a toilet. And I definitely felt less of people that used that toilet to have a dump. It's like, just there are many other toilets in this building. Have the decency to go and fucking have a poo somewhere else. Because it would permeate the offices. And there was a guy, I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning this, called Jed. And he had the longest, thickest legs I've ever seen. And when he would go for a wee, he would go loud and proud.
Yeah.
And because it was such
mental.
It was like a racehorse. And he was like, because he was so tall, like he was a big guy, and his legs were really long, the distance that you had to travel into the toilet was substantial. And so you're just like, it's so weird. You don't talk about it, but you start knowing wwho's pissing by the type of piss you're hearing.
Yeah, you knew it was Jed. You knew it was Jed.
Jed's in there. Yeah, Jed's in there. That's it. Jed's having a wee. And then I just got on with my work.
Is there something more masculine about the louder the wee is hitting the water?
I think, again...
Because if that is the case, maybe buy yourself one of those little stools and then just kind of hide that under your jumper or something. And then when you walk in, wee from a greater height and really try and get the sound as loud as proud and maybe work that up as a power move that you could.
I don't really get anything from pissing into. I'm not thinking about this stuff when I'm having a wee. I just like get it out of me, get the poison out, and then let me get on with my day.
Interesting. Yeah, it did make me laugh. It was just the plops don't plop so loud. That made me laugh. Yeah. And this also made me laugh. I really hope no one's offended, but I think it's funny. Snoring Lax 13. It's odd how James mentions Clark Carlisle. So I spoke about Clark Carlisle last week about how in November he won Britain's Brainiest Footballer, and that meant we had a trophy and the rest of the playground didn't when I was younger. And so I was like, what have you won? What have you won? We've got Britain's Brainiest Footballer. Anyway, Snoring Lax said, odd how James mentions Clark Carlisle. I've just this second had a Teams meeting with him at work. Let me just show you this. At work about men's mental health and his story. And McSlash just wrote underneath, spoon. Snoring Lax replied brilliantly, going, I mean, if I could go back in time and interrupt him during the speech about his attempted suicide, I would, but you know.
For those people that don't know, the way you prove that you're telling the truth on this podcast is with a spoon. That's why that's funny. We're not just laughing at Clark Carlisle.
No, of course not. Of course not. But I just love the fact that. But yeah, Clark, that's really great. Can I just stop you there? You're just getting to the good bit now. Could I give you? Could you just? Have you got just a spoon nearby? Spoon. Jesus.
I need to prove to my friends that you're.
That this is real.
Anyway. Do you want to know a first world problem?
Go on. Do I?
It's when you put you make yourself an espresso and forget to put the cap in, and you just get some sort of brown turgid water, warm water in a mug. I don't know how I'm going to survive. Make another one. That's what I'll do.
Hang in there, my friend. Hang in there. Beef of the week. But who won, Flav? Who won in last week's Beef of the Week? Didn't see this one coming, but it did catch me by surprise, and I very much enjoyed it.
What?
I don't want to name names, but I'm going to.
What the fuck's Beef of the Week, James?
Beef of the Week. Raymond Higgins. So this was an exchange that occurred in our comment section last week regarding Conte. Now, So Raymond jumped in. Welcome, Raymond. Hopefully I'm not upsetting you. Just if I am, take a breath. I'm just intrigued. I just thought this was interesting how this played out. So this is all in capital letters. I think it's important to show this. Conte's going to leave Real soon. You're just a tin pot club. He looked real worried in that press conference. Ha 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 ha. He's not going to stay. His heart, spelled H-A-R-T, is not in this job. He wanted the Man U job because that is a real club.
How old do you think Raymond is?
Don't know.
Guess.
I hope he's young.
It's got to be 11. Okay. If he's older than 11, I'd be amazed.
All right, so if you are younger, Raymond...
fucking grow up, you prick.
Just go easy on the caps lock, okay? Because George then replied, yeah, but what have you won? Raymond's then got involved in some beef. He probably shouldn't.
I love this.
Raymond Higgins has gone a hell lot more than you lot. Interesting. Yeah, but George replied. George, I think, is possibly a little bit older. Writing in all caps isn't a power move you think it is. Raymond Higgins replied quite quickly in capital letters. I've got to write in caps because you Spurs fans think your team is good, so you all be blind mugs. Only one club in England, and that's Man U. Live with it. George replied, I'm not a Spurs fan. I support the biggest club in Hertfordshire, the mighty Stevenage FC.
Love it, George.
Which part of Manchester are you from, out of interest? Raymond replied, No, why? Sorry, thought you were a Spurs fan.
Oh, well, at least he's backtracks and apologised.
Okay,
It shows some maturity. That's good.
George replied, "Yes, please, don't slander me with such awful accusations." James Simonson.
Oh, come on, George.
James Simonson then jumped into the beef and said, "Get a girlfriend." And Raymond replied once more, saying, "Your girlfriend is like Spurs, 18-yard box, easy to get into, you mug. Conte is sick. He joined that shit club. What's it like to be the worst team in London?" So in the chat, I'd love to know who won that exchange. I think Raymond maybe saved it at the end and got the W for me.
I'm going to give the points to Raymond. He's just his energy, his willingness to backtrack when he knows he's wrong. He's sticking to his guns anyway. I'd give Raymond the points.
Raymond with the W there. Interesting. I think I'd give it to him as well. I think it was that your girlfriend is like Spurs' 18-yard box, easy to get into.
That is pretty good.
You mug.
That is pretty
impressive
good
stuff. What I would say is, let's draw a line there, Raymond. Take your victory and move on.
I don't think you should. I think you need to double down, Raymond. And I want you to double down by coming on the show next week.
Interesting.
And we can talk about it.
We can break this down.
Raymond, get yourself if you get yourself. You don't even, most laptops have webcams. That's all you need. Let's get you on the show and let's talk it through next week.
Okay.
Which you're about, Raymond.
Interesting. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts, Raymond, in the comments, and we can explore this further. Excited for a nuanced chat. Quotes of the week. Andrew Young's quote of the week. In every Jaffin, there is a moment where James questions whether Jaffin fits with the rest of the content of his channel. In this pod, or last week's pod, it was the point where Flav said, "In Brokeback Mountain, why was Jake Gyllenhaal immediately the bummy?" I think that was the moment. I think for connoisseurs of the podcast, you might not have spotted this, but if I am really concerned this could affect my career, I just go on to the single of Flav. and that happened in this podcast, so feel free to go back and see when that moment was. Samisms are back. Joshua Fragely, this is horrible. Really awkward Samism. I was watching the Birmingham game with my dad midweek, and after the game my dad turns to me and says, "Mum's gone to bedtime to blow the sack."
Oh God, what does that mean?
So it's a vile mixture of hit the sack and blow her back out. I heard blow her back out. What?
Blow her back out is an expression. It means like hitting it from behind.
Oh, right. Okay. I didn't correct him as I was paralysed with sheer cringe and awkwardness.
Joshua, I'm not sure that are you saying your dad knows the expression blow her back out? Because if he does, that's tough as a son to hear. You don't want the idea of your mum and dad
quite the
going at it.
If that is the case.
That is a great expression.
Mum's gone to bedtime to blow the sack. Ouch.
What did he mean by it? Because I don't understand what.
Mum's gone to bedtime to blow the sack.
Blow the sack.
She's gone to hit the sack. She's gone to bed. Yeah. I think it's just
that's a lot. That's a lot to take on.
Still to come, we've got Power Moves with a moral high ground twist, bottom chat, some literal cliches, and what's coming up now is I Met Once, which includes some sweeping judgments. Now, I've noticed in life, Flav, that often you sort of meet people and then you make sweeping judgments on them. So over the last month or so, we've had a lot of people letting us know people that they've met and the impact that they've then had on their lives, be it on their judgment of them or on their future. So here's a couple. Little burp there, guys. Sorry.
Enjoy it.
Come on. Oscar Ringstad. Met a footballer back in year 7 in my small town in Norway. My year won a prize for a science experiment, and included in the prize, Rosenborg BK, the biggest club in Norway, sent a club legend and his promising son, Alexander Sorloth, to give the whole year tickets to their next match. He also played a little with us on the school pitch, where I saved a penalty from him. Looking back, he probably let the little year 7 save it, But if people were to ask me, I would say the embarrassment of having his penalty saved by a Year 7 kid is what gave him the motivation to buckle down and become an international footballer, as well as not only breaking into the team, but eventually getting moves to Leipzig and Sociedad. I like that idea that this one moment, it's like, no. And then the montage of his life ensued, which got him to that point because of the embarrassment of having a penalty saved by a Year 7.
Do you know what I like about you, Jim?
Go on.
Is that you're actually meeting, like, this is, I met once, right? People met footballers. You're like meeting actual people in football on a weekly basis, aren't you? Like, you just interviewed Scott Parker. What?
Just a bit.
What's going on, mate? It's mad. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Jim.
mate.
Congratulations.
The important thing to say is that the video with Scott Parker is live on my channel now. It's just a clip of it, but the whole thing's on the League of 72 channel. But it is a good interview. I'm proud of that one. It's cool. I think, though, I'm just sort of curious to chat to him. So it's not really a problem.
Well, can I ask you, because I haven't watched it yet, but your headline says there is always a constant fear. I'm interested in that. What is it about?
Maybe click on it.
I know you can. You know you can click on it, but can you just give us a sneak? Is he talking about the fear of losing, or is it like not performing?
He's talking about, the fear of losing is the bulk of it, and it explains how that fear essentially drives everything.
To do everything correctly.
Yeah.
Give yourself your best chance.
And he talks about, what's the range of experiences that he's got. It's quite the bit that's actually probably better, but not as good a title. Is how he says the phrase, like, I've been at big teams, that are top of the league, and then I've been in relegation battles, and you can smell the environment. You can smell when it's bad, like how players are, how they behave, not literally. And that I thought was fascinating.
Yeah,
it's good because I think that's the thing. I think with some of these managers that you sometimes think are a bit too serious, like, ask them a question then. Like, ask them about, like, how they do things. Like that's why I'm proud of that interview, because I think we got some good stuff from him. But it was only because you go, tell me, talk to me. Like, what's it like doing this and that? And he's like, oh, okay, well, yeah. You're not trying to catch him out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, the other side of it. So, well done, Oscar, for giving Alexander Sorloth the energy he needed to go and make himself an international footballer. And let us know in the comments how you've created some of the footballers we get to enjoy today. Tom Harrison, other side of the coin here. Footballer story, sweeping judgment incoming. Last summer after the Euros, me and my mates went to Croydon in Devon for a few nights. At the same time, Harry Maguire was there. We spotted him a few times, but the first time we actually met him was outside an ice cream shop. We gathered round for a photo. My mate went to put his arm around Harry, to which Harry responded with a stern look and said, "Don't touch me." He's never been the same player since.
How many ice creams do you reckon he ate?
Harry?
He has 4.
I think Harry has one of those cones that become 2 cones?
Yeah.
I think that's what Harry would ask for, wouldn't he?
And then he goes to the guy, another 2. Put another 2 on. Yeah. On top of those 2.
And another 2.
And another 2. And
do you think that's harsh? He said, "Don't touch me." Middle of COVID, isn't it? Middle of COVID.
I'm not. Maybe. Look, I mean, is it hard? I mean, it would be fucking annoying. People invading your space constantly. I don't think so. You could say, I don't know how do you say "don't touch me" in a polite way. You can't, can you? I wouldn't do it because I'd be conscious of how it would make me look and how people think I was a prick. But I can understand why he doesn't want someone in his face. And
you might get to a point where you just get fed up with that stuff.
And this would happen to him 50 times a day, probably. But is he saying "don't touch me" to everyone, or was your mate looking a bit grubby?
Yeah, that's a good point. Very good point. Ryan Couch on fire today. Well done, mate. Maguire, you're going to need a bigger cone. You would have said to the ice cream man. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And this one, I just like the picture this made in my mind. David Darwin. I once met Jersey Dudek at my local bowling alley. It was 2006, and I was 11, growing up in New Brighton, which is the other side of the Mersey from Liverpool. I went bowling with a friend and his family, both of us massive Liverpool fans, and after our game, on the way out, we spotted Jersey Dudek with a group of young children. Stop it! It was his son's birthday party. I just like the idea of Jersey Dudek, like, practicing his goalkeeping, like
wasn't
like his rollouts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Technically.
Imagine him doing that in a game. You know when people do the thing with their leg when they bowl, like proper bowlers, they do that thing and they sort of low.
They twist it out.
Yeah, I loved. Any Liverpool fans, did that ever happen? Did Jersey ever just roll the ball out and do a little?
Is it? Would this have been? Strike. Would this have been after they won the Champions League? When did they do that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So it was the year after his heroics in the Champions League final in Istanbul, and myself and my mate needed to get his autograph. We sprinted to the desk and explained the situation to the two staff members. They allowed us to borrow a pen and gave us 4 sheets of paper on the condition that we also got each of them jerseys autographed too. Spoke to him. He was lovely.
Howard.
He signed his autograph 4 times for us. I must extend an apology to those who worked on the desk at the Riverside Bowl in the summer of 2006 because we pocketed the pen and the 4 autographs ourselves.
That's not. I mean, but they're the cowards. They should ask themselves. We've got a Liverpool goalkeeping story, haven't we, Jim? I don't know if we ever mentioned this, but when we made a video about us driving to Russia, and people think when they watch that video that we had tickets and we just made a story around it. We did not have tickets.
Yeah.
We absolutely, and this is not a lie. Go and watch the videos; they're really good. James done an amazing job in producing them and editing them, right? But we drove all the way to Russia, not because we had tickets, but because we were told to by the people we work with, because they sold a piece of content to Vanarama. So Vanarama gave us a van, and we drove across all of Europe over 3 days, all the way to Russia. When I say Russia, it's like there's a little bit called where Kaliningrad is, where England were playing. That's just the other side of Poland. And we drove all the way there, and we didn't have tickets. And if anyone asked me what my best skill is, my best skill is thinking about people who I know who may help me to do something. I don't know if that is even a thing, but I always seem to my brain goes into a sort of different mode, and I always manage to find some sort of connection that helped me do what I need to do, right? And so I knew my mate worked in PR, and I knew that he'd worked with some footballers, and I just thought, maybe he'll be able to somehow have tickets to this game, England-Belgium. And somehow he got us, me and Jim and Sam Peoples, not just 2 tickets, which we thought it was, 4 tickets to this game. And they were Simon Mignolet's courtesy tickets.
Yeah.
And they had his name on the envelope we had with the 4 tickets.
And we were down so we were down the Belgian end, weren't we?
Yeah, we were in the Belgian end. And we sat next to Merton's parents. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I had a GoPro, and I accidentally, when we nearly scored, through the GoPro, and I had to climb between Merton's parents to get it.
Yeah, that was mad.
That was great. Go and watch it. Yes, Simon Mignolet sorted us out. Go and watch those videos. They're so good.
Yeah, they are funny. Right, power moves with the moral high ground. Here we go.
Is this the end of power moves? Feels like it's the end.
Possibly.
Okay.
Feels like I think you seem to be. You've had enough? Have we?
I just feel like
these things. We need to find new things. We've got to find new things. So let's see. They are some good power moves this week, to be fair. Andy, power move / moral high ground. I was at a 9 Inch Nails gig, milling around outside the venue beforehand. My friend and I wanted some extra stimulants to complement the evening. Noticing a ticket tout as the only potential source, I walked over and asked him if he had anything. He stopped, stared at me, and pointed down the road, saying, "Yeah, if you go down there and ask the desk sergeant at the police station, they'll help you." I stood there speechless, slightly impressed, but mostly outraged. I love the podcast. That's good. Yeah. It's like, what I would say is, if you're a ticket tout, would say don't take the. I don't think you can take the moral high ground.
You can't take the moral.
Yeah.
Oh, not these fucking druggies.
Yeah.
The ticket touts. Yeah.
You know that. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you know that's illegal, right? Yeah. What? Like the tickets you got in your pocket. That's just hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah. No, this is a civil crime. That's what he would tell you. It's a civil issue, not a police matter.
Harry Pittman, very underrated moral high ground power move. When on public transport and an older person comes onto the bus/train, offer your seat to them, making other people around you feel guilty that they didn't offer their seat first. Now, one thing I would say with this is dangerous, right, with certain people, because I think there are, like, say, certain men, for example, who are a bit older, who you might offer the seat to, and they'll actually be really offended by that.
They don't feel that old.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it's tricky.
It is tricky. So I'm generally I don't do
just
it too much.
on that thing in terms of like needing stimulants on a night out. When I went to Amsterdam and got into a cab at Schiphol. No, it wasn't. It was at Central Station, and the guy gave me a card at the end of the cab journey, and it just said his name. I can't remember what it was. Party liaison, and his number. And I mean, we called it a few times over the weekend. Fundamentally changed party liaison, and he true to his word, he was.
Yeah, so yeah, great. This is interesting. So is this a power move, Ellis King? You can decide this one, Flav.
Yep.
The other day I was walking out of my house, and a few doors down I saw a family pull up in a car. The mum and 2 daughters get out while the dad stays in the car. I see him drop an empty cigarette packet out of his car window onto the street as I walk past. Now out of his line of vision, I look at the packet, then the mum, then at the packet, then at the mum, as if to say, aren't you going to do anything? She did nothing. I then head off to the corner shop, annoyed at what I've seen. While waiting in the queue at the corner shop, I became increasingly incensed about what this old tosser has done. Determined not to end up in the shower that night stewing over it, and what I should have said to him, I decide that if the car is still there on the way back, I will say something. Lo and behold, on the walk home, the car is still there, as is the man. I bend down outside of his window and pick up the cigarette packet. I hand it to him and say, "Excuse me, mate, you dropped this." To which he replies, "Yeah, it's empty." I replied, "But it's in the street," and posted the cigarette packet back through the gap in his window before walking off. At this point, I felt on top of the world. I humiliated him while simultaneously letting him know who runs these ends. A few hours later, I head out again to see the car gone and the cigarette packet back on the floor.
Who won?
I pick it up and put it in the bin. My question is this: did this cretin reverse power move me and make me pick up his rubbish like a dog? Or do I remain the bigger man?
Oh.
So we've got some replies here, but I'm intrigued to know what you think.
I mean, it's perceptive. It's perception, isn't it? If you feel like a dog, then he's won. But fundamentally, you did everything you could to show him the error of his ways. And wankers will always be wankers. So, but in the same way, he's just like, oh, fuck off, mate. Hasn't learned anything, and you've actually picked up his rubbish after him. But you did the right thing by clicking it
Library up. Gary, who is an OG, hope you're well, mate. You've been utterly power moved. He made you pick up his litter twice, and then pep voice, twice. Pep goes, twice. Dan Mook, I think that's how you say it. I think to regain power, you need to post it through his letterbox. Also, do it at 2 a.m. and wake up his whole family. The power's back in your hands. Good luck. Literal clichés, I might save for next week.
Okay.
But they are kind of funny.
Can I ask you a question about QPR? What the fuck is happening there, James? Mate, 3rd in the league, and not only 3rd, like scoring ridiculous goals.
Oh, yeah. It's just easy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Third, I think third's good. Just in the chat, guys. 3rd in a league of 24 teams. Is 3rd good? Could you guys just answer that for me quickly? That would be great.
It feels good. Yeah. It does feel good. Jim,
I tell you what, like the bloody stream, by the way. Like the stream if the R's are going up, which essentially means like the stream. Yeah.
Because, Jim,
go on.
Since I've known you, QPR have been. It's not even like really toilet. Like it's interesting to talk about. You've just been nothing. You've been a nothing football club. You just made up the entire point of your football club was just to have a place in the Championship and be around 17th every year.
Yeah.
No one's talking about QPR. Not too shit to go down, but too shit to think about. Not worth thinking about. Not even worth it coming into my head. QPR exist. Oh, is that they do exist, don't they? Yes. That was your existence. Now, fucking hell. What is happening? Fucking love it, Jim.
I'll tell you what's happening.
I want it for you. I want it for you.
Something's happening. And I know we've joked about it previously, but I'll tell you this now. That something is actually proper happening. And if we go up, I'm going to lose my mind.
Because, Jim, not only have you built your channel to 140,000 subscribers, right?
On rock and roll.
But you're also relevant. People will want to talk to you, James. Does
this mean I'm relevant?
People will want to talk to you legitimately about your football club. That will be weird for you.
That is going to be odd, and I don't think I like it. I don't think I want it.
It's a whole new. I mean, you've been in the Premier League. I'm not saying you don't know what it's like, but the game's done changed.
It's it's going to be like. I nearly said her name now. There was a girl at school. So it's like I'm going to say her first name. It's like Susie in year 9. Well, no one really wanted to talk to her that much, and then year 10. She's got massive knockers, and now everyone wants to talk to her. And Susie's going. And to be fair, so I remember Susie saying to me, "Oh, now you want to talk to me? Now I've got these massive tits." That's me. That's gonna be me. That's gonna be me next year. And I'll be like, actually, no. I'd rather just talk about Liverpool and Chelsea because you're not getting to suck on these juicy melons. I am.
Yeah, but just on part of good. All the best, Susie. You're entering the goldfish bowl, Jim. That wasn't there before when you were last in the league. Twitter has changed the game when it comes to supporting football. No longer will you escape the nonsense that other clubs in the Premier League have to, or fans of other clubs in the Premier League have to deal with. Like, I just called for absolutely no reason at all. I didn't even believe it. I called Brentford a shitty little tin pot club, not because I have any ill feeling towards Brentford. They're in the way, and when you're in the way, things get nasty. I actually quite like Brentford. I know one Brentford fan called Adam, and I love him. He's a great bloke. But last night I didn't for 90 minutes. I wished ill things on him.
Sorry, I just laughed there because Joe Bailey just went, has anyone got Susie's number? I fucking love you lot. You lot are so funny. Heroes, a lot of you. But yeah, look, something's going on. We've got Stoke at the weekend. That's my Bezzy Craig's,
Loftus Road?
Yeah, my Bezzy Craig's team. We'll be pumping them. We thought it was going to be a playoff decider, but now we're going for the automatics. I'm not as bothered as I was. But yeah,
Will Brazier just said I'm pinning my career on a non-existent promotion for the Blues.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Well, you got to work around it. That's it. Joe Bailey, James Allcott to replace True Geordie on the kickoff after Newcastle's relegation and QPR's promotion. That would be very, very funny. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give you a couple of literal. I can't even say it. Literal cliches because I think they're quite funny. Oscar with a double mention. He's not fit to lace his boots. Actually, I'm just going to give you this one. This is the best one. Because last week we talked about it was you banging the drum for Dele Alli to be rubbish at football. I took it literally. If you take these things literally, how would that play out? So Oscar said, he's not fit. I can't speak. He's not fit to lace his boots. This makes me imagine a world where every footballer and manager do not lace their own boots, but have to have them laced by an equal or superior. Not only will the lacing of each other's boots be the new handshake and sign of respect, i.e. Klopp and Tuchel lacing each other's boots instead of shaking hands before and after the game, but it would ultimately create the ultimate status symbol and honour, the Velcro boots. as no one is fit to lace their boots. Playing or managing in Velcro boots would be an honour only bestowed on the one best player manager in the world, effectively replacing the moot Ballon d'Or and the Manager of the Year awards for slick utility of Velcro boots. Flashy greats would wear Velcro with blinkers for extra style points. Interesting. Getting your literal clichés because I like that one. And it could be a bit. I'm not sure yet, but it could be a bit. Things that make you go, just one, Flav, so don't worry.
All right. I like
Devin Little. Got a potential good moment here. A few years back, I stayed over at my current... This is so good. Just remembered it. A few years back, I stayed over at my current girlfriend's parents' place. It was early in our relationship and my first time staying over. So things were still fresh, but this event well and truly arrived to break the ice between myself and her whole family. Late at night, after watching a football game with her dad, I went to go and join my girlfriend in bed, power move, whilst she was sleeping. Her room was located on the second story of her parents' place, with a bathroom just next to her room. I toddled into the bathroom and tiredly sat down for a dump. That night we had spicy Portuguese chicken trinchado. So the payload was well and truly nuclear. The payload. I wiped, stood up, looked in disgust at my spawn. Absolutely loaded the room with air freshener spray and washed my hands. Hereafter I flushed, but the sound made resembled that of water splashing or a waterfall. I thought maybe I was really tired and decided to head to sleep and call it a night. The next morning, my stomach was feeling the after effects of the trinchado, so I decided to finally rid myself of this ailment. Round 2 of thunder dump on the toilet ensued, and I arrived at the flushing stage once again. I flushed and the same water splashing sound was the result. I flushed again and I heard the same noise, so I decided to open the window and see what was happening with the pipes. To my horror, the back garden located below the upstairs toilet was covered in my poo, whiz and toilet paper. Their garden was used to grow homemade vegetables and there were my brown children all over it. By this stage, I was panicking and planning my escape route out of the house. I woke up my girlfriend and asked her...
He was going to run.
He's thinking about it. I woke up my girlfriend and asked her to come check this out. Understandably, she was horrified and in laughter. The shocking part was she blamed her dad for not fixing the pipe and asked him to clean up the mess. Brackets, my God. Shit. He stood outside for the afternoon with a hose pipe and broom and refused to let me help clean up. I can never listen to the sound of a waterfall in peace ever again.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? Oh, God, that is disgusting. But there's a beautifully written.
You can laugh at it now. Yeah, really well written. Really well written.
Stop referring to your shits as your children as well. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, it's really odd. And we finish off.
Okay.
At the bottom of the rundown with a bit of bottom chat. I really hope this doesn't go on for too long because I'm slightly concerned we're going to offend someone, but I think we're okay. Michael Stone, who is a glug. He's a gay slug. He's
a glug. Nice.
He's finishing off this podcast with a lovely mix of I Met Once, bottom chat, and make you go, triple header.
Okay.
But the main thing, first of all, I met once David Beckham and I called him an old man. When COVID broke out, I moved from London back to Miami where I grew up. I missed going to football and picked up some season tickets with a friend for Inter Miami. The corporate luxury boxes at the stadium are at pitch level and the stand rises up behind them. So my seats in row 4 have given me access to various celebrities before matches and at half time. I've seen Beckham around the ground and know his usual boxes in front of me to the left, which makes this story even more baffling. So a few months ago, at half-time, a small group had gathered around a slim man in a nice suit with white silver hair about 10 feet, 3 to 4 metres in front of us, with his back turned. my friend turns to me and says, "Isn't that David Beckham?" I'd loudly say, "Nah, that's the old guy," referring to the director of football we've met before, who isn't even old. He also wears the same suit and has white hair. On cue, the man turns around and looks at us, introduces himself as David Beckham, and we chat for a minute. He was perfectly lovely. Michael then says a little flex here, which I'm going to leave out because I appreciate him tackling bottom chat. Probably a poor choice of phrase. But anyway, he called him old. Bottom chat. So, yeah, you were wondering, how do gay men know if they're a top or a bottom?
Yeah.
So, the top-bottom issue is often discussed beforehand, as many a potential arrangement has been sullied by this lack of planning. Of course, many people are versatile. Verse is the shortening for that.
No.
And they go either way, happily, which is the ideal scenario. Sometimes everyone is so keen. Anyways, a member of the two-top, two-bottom duo will take one for the team and perform the other role. Pure bottoms and tops in particular seem to radiate particular energies that you can pick up on over time as a sixth sense, and the outcomes are not always what you might expect as an outsider. The energies thing interests me. I'm intrigued to know, if I can ask one further question. What kind of energies align with a top or a bottom?
Well, I would have thought that the more feminine would be, obviously, the receiver.
Right.
Would be the socket.
Right, as opposed to the more masculine plugs.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're a plug, that means you're a slug, but you're a top. But no, just because he said the outcomes are not always as you may expect as an outsider. So I'm intrigued by that. If you do know, please do let me know. And to finish off with things that may go, I'd also like to raise the bloke who had porn pop up on his seminar. Do you remember that last week? He was doing a seminar with a group. He opened up his computer and there was a woman with a message. Pop up in his seminar with my situation, where at my Jesuit Catholic college, after being in class for a few minutes, I opened a minimized window on my laptop only for it to reveal itself as a gay pornographic film I had watched the day previously and forgot to close.
Wonderful.
The seats in class were packed in close to each other, and anyone behind me had the opportunity to see my screen. Not only did I suffer the embarrassment of a pornographic pop-up, but I also outed myself to a bunch of strangers in my class. It's one way to do it.
Blimey.
Lovely.
Thanks for all that information. I'm much clearer now.
Exactly.
I've had something delivered. Do you want to see what it is? I don't know.
Yeah.
Finish with that.
Finish with that. I've got a meeting in a few minutes, so I've got to go. Guys, if you haven't checked out our Patreon and you would like to join us for a chat that we have every week, then please do that. We're thinking of maybe talking about specific topics each week, which might be cool. So if you want to get involved, links in the description. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, and hit the notification bell as well. The reason you want to do that is that when we do go live for Jaffin sometimes, you won't miss out.
I know what that is.
What is it then? Finish with
the
this.
Elusive...
It's a Flav unboxing.
They are... I can't unbox it fully because it's a present for my daughter for Christmas. These are... Woo! Shit, son!
Oh, are they what I think they are? Oh,
and do you know what
Jordan
I said to
4s or Jordan 1s?
Jordan 4s or Jordan 1s. Rolex's got more than one. Or something on those. Oh, mate.
Oh, she's going to love it.
She's going to absolutely go mental because I've told her that we couldn't find them.
Nice.
And I found them. And do you know how I got these? I got these through someone who follows me on Twitter. I put a request out the other day. Oh, so sick. I'm so chuffed because I got a message from someone I know, a girl she's well into her trainers and she knows a guy who helps her out, and she just said send him £130 to PayPal and he'll sort you out. And I was like, I trust her.
Wow.
But I don't know her. And anyway, mate, they've shown up, mate. These are sick.
That's great
Look
news.
at the box with the gold.
Oh, yeah. Get them safe. Put them somewhere safe. She doesn't find them.
Wicked.
Great news. Well done, Santa. Congratulations. Swellhead Spur just said, I think, someone asked, can you watch all the old mailbags? That's a really good point. There's 51 mailbags you can watch, and a few people that have become patrons have made their way through them all. So they're all there on the Patreon if you do want to join us. What a great way to end. Congratulations, Flav.
I've got to clear something up again. Derek Laguerre, like people think because I rub my nose, I'm doing gear all the time. They do think that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've got Tourette's, and my tick is that I rub my face and nose. So I just want to clear that up for the record once again, that I'm not constantly on cocaine.
Good, lovely. And shame on you, whoever just said that. Derek
Laguerre. He said it.
Derek. 1 week ban.
Derek.
Right, guys. Thanks a lot. Lots of love.
Cheers, James.
Have a great
Take care.
weekend. The R's are going.